So that's the guy I would line up with, seriously. He's a new kind of whistleblower. People on my staff, me, we're just dangerous. Civil unrest. I've told you about civil unrest. What they have said about me, I'm a paranoid lunatic. I'm seditious. It's suffocating vision, I think a suffocating vision of paranoia. Really. Showing you for a year in advance, I told you unrest was coming to Europe, and then it's coming here. I have shown you now, in the last few months, the actual unrest and violence in the streets of Europe. Again, today in Greece, the unions shut down public transportation. Who did I tell you would do that? The unions. Students are taking to the streets again in England over possible tuition hikes. I told you that would happen a year ago. We showed you the burning cars. We've showed you how they are mirroring the failed economic policies here in America. I'm a paranoid lunatic, seditious. This must just be suffocating paranoia. Now, let me ask you this. Are they willing now to say the same thing about the Pentagon? Because they have been wargaming an economic crisis for almost 2 years now. One of these war games was called Unified Quest 2011. Listen to what they are preparing for at the Pentagon.
In that wargaming series, they're looking at the implications of large-scale economic breakdown inside the United States that would force the Army to keep, quote, domestic order among civil unrest and force the Army to deal with fragmented global power and drastically lower budgets.
That's weird. That's weird. That's just paranoid lunatics. They're seditious over there at the Pentagon, I guess. Now, what would be some of the things that might cause civil unrest? Well, let me show you a picture today from theblaze.com. It's of the Alaskan National Guard taking part in an exercise here for civil unrest. Oh, what does the guy have, the demonstrator have? Oh, it's a sign that says, "Food now." Well, why would he need a sign like that? Oh, yeah, that's right. The suffocating vision of paranoia. Food shortage, or food being scarce, or food just being too expensive because coming inflation. Absolutely without merit, and I'm mentally ill. Really? The National Guard is going for that, along with the Pentagon. I've talked about the importance for preparing for tough times, having enough food and supplies, getting out of debt, being self-reliant. The reaction, without merit, doomsday, probably mentally ill. But when Time magazine posts an article, impending crisis, Earth to run out of food by 2050, I'm sure this is some sort of green nightmare. This is good journalism. The only people I trust in the government, only ones I trust, are the military. The military is preparing. Are you? But the military, I believe, are being boxed into a corner by people who actually have their hands on the levers of power. And it is those holding the levers of power that have been creating the conditions to make these scenarios possible. And that goes anywhere from Harry Reid to Obama, all the way to the kingmaker himself, George Soros. Not the guy who has a stupid show at 5 p.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific. I mean, who am I up against in the Pacific Coast? The Price is Right? The media will demonize and glorify whom they want. The point of this monologue is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're me or Soros or the Pentagon or economic experts. It doesn't matter. We're now all saying the same thing. I've been saying it for 2 years. That should tell you something that they've now joined. Because the next thing on the docket is to control the media and to control food prices. Civil unrest and rising food prices and controlling the media. Oh, December 20th, FCC votes on the internet. If anybody doesn't believe this government is capable of doing these kinds of things, you're out of your mind. If you don't think the government could come in and take your gun, you're out of your mind. Let me show you this. You don't think that they're going to run roughshod over your civil rights? See this woman here? Probably never seen it. You should know her. Watch the video. This is the aftermath of Katrina.
I don't want to go because I got plenty.
Mandatory evacuation. Everybody in the...
See, this is why I didn't want to let you guys come in.
No, ma'am.
Because I wanted her in here, and all you guys come in, and I knew this
Stop the tape here. Stop the tape here. She doesn't want to let them in. They want to take her gun. A law-abiding citizen. Do they take it? And what happens? Next. I just showed you the beginning of a woman in New Orleans after Katrina. And she had a gun, and she was law-abiding citizen in her home. Did they take her gun or not? Watch. Yeah, they throw her against the wall.
You got a gun. Relax, man.
Oh, yeah, they took it. A law-abiding citizen. How old is she? 80? She hadn't broken any laws. Her guns were forcibly taken from her. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, they'll never do that again. They did it then. Oh, well, they'll never put troops on the ground. Posse Comitatus, you know, or Rock Me Amadeus, or whatever. President won't do that. Well, first of all, right. Second of all, remember the president established a little council of governors? They said it was just to prepare for a national crisis situation. President Obama established this little council that would involve the National Guard in Homeland Defense and civil support and synchronization and integration of all state and federal military activities inside the United States. Oh, but forget about that. Just go back to sleep. Forget. Shh, it's okay. Just listen to my voice. Think of the brilliant, kind-hearted philanthropist George Soros. He says Fox News and Glenn Beck are going to turn into dictators with the Tea Party and all the stupid people. Do not listen to what the evil con artist Glenn Beck says. By the way, back to reality here. The lady in New Orleans, she was robbed at gunpoint 2 days later. Now, here's another story that I'm sure that I'm going to be called names just because I brought it up. But I'll have you know some lawmakers might be a little concerned about this one as well. They've spoken out about it. It's a sale of a Wyoming-based uranium processing facility to an arm of the Russian state-owned nuclear power company. That would mean Russia will now control 50% of a company operating uranium mines in America. Does that sound like a good idea to you? Then in another story between America and Russia, back in June, Obama and Medvedev collaborated on the development of a pilot smart grid project based on the most innovative electric power systems to reduce emissions. Russia and the U.S. cities will now be paired and implement similar projects. Us, Russia, and I think the United States together, hand in hand, just to help the environment. That's it. So are we supposed to believe that Russia, a country that has no problem killing ex-spies to keep them quiet, you know, their people are freezing to death, they care about carbon emissions and they can help us with energy? Isn't it? Yeah, there it is. There he is. There he is. Vladimir Putin harpooning whales. Yeah, no, seriously, he cares about the environment. And we're going to share sensitive energy structural information of our cities with that guy. That's great. And we'll have the same kind of electronics. Hang on, I have an idea. I have an idea. First, let's go back to WikiLeaks. All the cables released paint a picture that shows America and Russia not really friends, with the U.S. calling them a virtual mafia state. So why would the Obama administration want to give them our uranium mining and keys to the smart grid? Let's go back in time, shall we? Let's go into the time tunnel here. There we go. You're going back in time. Here we go. We have it? Okay, not that, though. There's Stalin and Mao. I love those guys. Not quite back that far. Let's go back. Come forward a little bit. Do you remember when the Soviet Union fell? Where did the communists go? Where did they all go? There they are, pulling down statue of Stalin. The communists just all disappeared. Nobody was a communist anymore. No. They were democratic socialists. Wait a minute. Democratic socialists, those are the same people. Yes, show me yesterday's chalkboard. Those are the same people that I showed you on yesterday's chalkboard. Remember supporting Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks guy? This is great. Yeah. They're the ones who want to see the evil capitalist America brought to her knees and fundamentally transform into some sort of progressive or socialist utopia land. Wait a minute. That's the same thing they want to do here. Like Bertha Lewis. Earlier this year, she spoke in front of the Young Democratic Socialist Conference. Young Democratic Socialist Conference? And then we have Richard Trumka, president of AFL-CIO, one of the president's favorite unions, speaking at the European Democratic Socialists. There they are right there. But they were only creating a global economy there. Do you remember I showed you a blueprint? Do we have the patent of the blueprint anywhere? Or here it is? Yeah, here it is. I love it. It's a blueprint. Okay? This is actually a patent for this thing. This is wonderful. This is owned by Fannie Mae. We asked them what it was for. Believe it or not, they said it was for surge protection. This is a lock. You can't open this without a special device. It's a lock for your outlets. Surge protection. You ready for the example they gave us? Somebody can come in, crash your computer, because they've plugged in an unauthorized vacuum cleaner. How many times has that happened to you? The best part is they can lock it down. So, no vacuum cleaners are plugged in. Yeah. Wonder if they could do that if you've used too much energy, or if you're on the naughty, not the nice list. Here's the deal. You and I know the vacuum cleaner thing doesn't happen. But, this is the idea I had a second ago. The Russians don't know that. And if we're in the smart grid with them, we can put all of these on their outlets. Oh my gosh. The United States is playing a game with the Russians. We're this close to taking Russia. No, I don't think so. No.
Food stamps being touted as a new form of financial aid. Indoctrination of our youth taken to a new extreme. Next.